Well, it is high time we up our security game here at Homebuilt Workshop. We're going to take a look at the Reolink Argus 3 Wi-Fi enabled security camera, and we're also going to do a little bit of woodworking as we build this cool little easily mountable security camera pod to hold both the camera as well as the solar panel, and we're going to see how this thing works, so stick around. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Homebuilt Workshop. I hope you are all doing amazing. Today we're going to talk about something that's pretty important, I would say, to, well, probably everybody, and that is home security. Now, when I was growing up, back in my day, there really was no concern with any of that sort of thing. You left your windows open, you left your doors open, you left them unlocked. We even left the keys in the car at the store, and really, we never had an issue. That just really wasn't a thing. Now, unfortunately, nowadays, well, in most cases, I hate to say it, that's just not an option. If you were to leave your keys in the car at the store, at least around here, some bonehead would jump in and drive off with it and you'd never see it again. The same thing goes for your home and your shop. We need to keep those things secure. One of the most popular ways now that I see to be able to keep everything safe and secure, at least keep an eye on things, is by installing security cameras. And that is what we're going to do today at Homebuilt Workshop. Inside this very inconspicuous packaging is a security camera system that we're going to pop open. We're going to check it out, and we're going to figure out a place to mount it and get it set up. Let's see how easy this is. Guess I should have wore a different color shirt because, well, that's fine. We're going to get rid of this packaging. Now, what we have here is the Reolink Argus 3 wireless security camera, as well as a solar panel to power this thing. Now, I've been looking at security system options for the last couple of months, trying to weigh the pros and cons and trying to figure out what type of system is going to work best for me. So when Reolink reached out to me and offered to send over one of their systems for me to try out, I was more than happy to accept it because, well, it's been coming up in my research anyway, so why not give it a shot? Now, I live in a very old home, and there's not a lot of options for hardwiring any sort of system. It would be a lot of work to try to run power or any sort of cabling. So the system that we have works off only Wi-Fi, but it also has the solar panel, which will connect to the camera and keep it charged. That means I don't have to take it down and replace batteries or recharge any sort of batteries. This thing should keep it charged up all the time. And that is going to work really well for my situation. Now, these do come in several different configurations. Like I said, this is the Wi-Fi one, and they also have some that work off of cellular towers as well as hardwired units. So if you're looking at something, they probably have an option that would work for you. So let's pop these things open, take a quick look at it, and then we'll see if we can make this thing work and get it set up. We got some paperwork, some sort of a drilling template surveillance sticker. Set those aside. Here's the camera itself. All the protective stuff is on there. Looks good. Fairly heavy. It's got some good weight to it. And then we have a bunch of other mounting options of some sort. Screws, cables, mounts. And over here we have our solar panel. Nothing again. More screws, foam, a mount, and our solar panel. Now, this has a little bit of a different texture on there, not like your normal solar panel. It feels pretty cool, actually. So taking a little bit closer look at it, really we have several mounting options depending on where you want to place your camera. First off, we have this little guy, which is really simple. It's just a base. The camera sits in there and you can set it on a shelf, angle it around wherever you need to. Secondly, we have this ball mount, which threads onto the back of the camera. Like that, and you can position it whichever way you want it. There's some screw holes in the back. You can secure it to a wall or a board, whatever you need to do, and you can swivel it around whichever way you need it. There's also this included strap, and the strap feeds through the little loop here on the back of this bracket. So you could really put that strap through there, strap this thing to a tree, to a post, whatever you need to do, and really quick and simple. The solar panel is really just as simple. It's just a mount. It's got a little ball head up here, some screw holes in the bottom. This guy threads on to the back of the solar panel, and you can mount this wherever you need to. Pretty simple. So it sounds like the first thing that I need to do is make sure this thing is fully charged. I'm going to just plug it into a normal charger using the included cable. Yes, we have the solar panel, but I think I want to start with it fully charged. That way I know there is no issues whatsoever. To charge this camera, there's a little USB port on the back. It's got this little rubber cap over there that seals it off. So you just pop that off, plug in your charging cable, and when you're done, make sure you close that back up. I'm going to see you guys back in a little while with this thing fully charged. So I've let this little guy charge for a couple of hours. There's a little LED light on the back here that turns green when it's fully charged. It did have a little bit of juice in there. We probably could have completed this setup with the charge that was already there, but at least now we know it's fully charged. So why don't you guys come in a little bit closer? Don't be shy. Come on in, we'll take a close-up look at this little security camera. So here's our Argus 3. This is the 4 megapixel version, also available in a 2 megapixel version. This particular version records in 2K. The 2 megapixel version is full 1080 HD. Both of them are HD, but this one is 2K as opposed to 1080. Looking at the front here, up at the top there are 2 spotlights. These can be set to come on when motion is detected at nighttime. Here in the center is a little status LED that can also be configured to come on or not. Right here in the center, of course, is our camera lens. This has a 122-degree field of view. Down here, I believe, is the daylight sensor. Down here, if you can see this little dot, is the microphone. This features two-way talk, so you can interact with whoever you're seeing on the camera, which is kind of cool. Down here at the very bottom, this little bubble, that is your infrared motion detector. This has a 100-degree field of view. Over here on the two sides of the lens, you can't really see it right now through this black cover, but there are 2 rows of infrared lights which allow this camera to basically see in the dark. This camera works only on Wi-Fi. This particular model has no provisions to hardwire, which is going to work great for me because, like I said, I don't have any option to really hardwire without a ton of work. So using a Wi-Fi unit is going to work awesome. This one runs on 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. Here on the back, of course, there's our USB charging port with the weatherproof cover, and down here we have a 1/4-20 thread mount which will work with the included brackets or really any other sort of bracket that you might need to fabricate. As long as it uses a 1/4-20 bolt, it's going to fit. Down here on the bottom we have another weather tight connector, and this covers the power switch for powering the camera on and off, as well as a micro SD card slot. Now you will need to provide your own micro SD card. This camera does not come with one. Really, you don't even need the SD card in there, but if you want to record locally to the camera instead of on your computer or to the cloud, you're going to need to put an SD card in there. And I guess that is a quick tabletop overview of the Reolink Argus 3 4 megapixel version. Now, while I had this charging, I did download the Reolink app to my phone, as well as the desktop client to be able to access the cameras from either the phone or the desktop. To get that all set up, it was really simple. You had to download the app, basically sign up for an account through Reolink. You don't have to pay for it unless you want one of the subscription plans. I have just the free one right now. Really just required signing up with an email and password, and then it just walks you step by step through the setup. Now, there are a couple of steps in there where you have to scan this little QR code on the back of the camera. I had to do that with the camera on my phone, and then a step or two later, the phone will display a QR code that you just have to aim your camera at your phone, and it automatically basically configures itself. It was really quite simple. I didn't really have any trouble, except for when it came time to scan my phone with the camera. I wasn't exactly sure right there what I needed to do. I probably just didn't read the instructions, really. But once I realized that I needed to scan the barcode on my phone with the camera, it connected, and I can access all of the settings, all of the features, the recordings, everything basically from my phone. or the computer, depending on which way you have it set up. I have it set up on both. One advantage of having the app on your phone is that you can configure it to send you notifications in case something is detected when it shouldn't be. It can send you a notification. You can bring up the live view, see what's going on, see if it was just the barn cat, or maybe something really is going on, and then you can react from there. You can also activate the lights as well as activate the two-way talk feature. So let's say someone was at your door, you could activate that and talk back and forth to them. They can't see you, but you can see them and you can talk back and forth. That's kind of cool, I think. I think that about covers most of the details about this guy. So since we do a lot of woodworking around here, let's do a little bit of woodworking and see if we can't come up with something to mount this thing on. That'd be kind of fun. Now, all of the parts for both the solar panel as well as the Argus 3 camera are completely weatherproof. There's no reason you can't just attach them to the outside of your house, your workshop, your shed, your fence, attach it to a tree. It'll be completely fine. But I want to make some sort of a simple bracket that has somewhat of an overhang on the top that maybe the camera can sit under. I feel like being able to keep just a little bit of the elements off it might help it last longer. It's probably not at all necessary, but we do woodworking around here, so let's do some woodworking. I'm going to use this slab of aspen to build my little mounting bracket. First, I need to establish one straight and true edge so that we can rip it down on the table saw. See, whoever said I don't use hand tools? Now I'll just rip it down to width on the table saw and then cross-cut the pieces to length. Now on the bandsaw, I'll cut out some little triangles that will help reinforce the sides. After a quick sanding just to remove any splintered edges, I'll apply some Titebond 3 and glue this little bracket up. This was a little bit tricky to clamp together due to the triangles, but I got a little bit creative and it worked out just fine. I want to reinforce those glue joints, so I'll drive in a couple of screws. Now I'll lay out the locations of where I want to mount these two pieces and mark the screw holes. And after drilling some pilot holes, I can secure the mounting bases to my little wooden bracket. Finally, I can attach the camera as well as the solar panel to their mounting brackets. Bam! With the camera and solar panel mounted to the bracket, I just need to connect the solar panel to the camera. Get in there. There we go. Now since we're going to leave this plugged in, there's this little rubber sleeve that goes on there, pops down on, and seals everything off. Keep it nice and weatherproof. Now this solar panel has a ton of extra wire. I'm not going to need it for this application, so I think I'm just going to zip tie it to this mount here so it's not flopping around. But this is really cool in case you needed to mount your solar panel in a different location from your camera. You've got lots of extra here. You don't have to worry about trying to find a location. You got lots of options with a lot of extra length. Now let's turn our camera on. And just like that, we now have a little security camera pod thingy. Now, if you get your own system like this, do you need to build a mount like that? Absolutely not. That is not at all the case. Both of these items are designed to be mounted wherever you intend to put them. You don't need to have a little mount to keep everything together, but that's the reason that I decided to build one. I'm not 100% sure yet where I'm going to put this, so I imagine I'm going to be moving this around a time or two before I find the right spot, and I don't want to have to worry about fastening each one up independently, moving each one around. This way I can just screw this right into wherever I want to put it, and if I need to move it, I can just take it down, mount it somewhere else, and everything is already mounted. Let's try this out. So here we are outside. I've got the camera set up. It's about 6 to 8 feet away from me right now, and what you're hearing right now is the audio strictly from the camera. So we'll be able to test the audio as well as the video. It's bright and sunny out right now. The sun's shining on me. There's lots of shadows on here. What I'm seeing right now on the live view, as I've got it brought up on my app, the picture quality looks really good. Totally usable. This is pretty cool. So one thing you can do with this camera is you can configure custom notifications, custom sirens. You can make it play custom audio messages when somebody approaches. You can use your own voice or some sort of pre-recorded. One other thing we're going to be able to test is how well does traffic noise come through, because there's a lot of traffic right now, as you can probably see as well as hear. But we'll see how that comes through the microphone as well as me just talking. This is pretty cool. We're going to wait a little bit and we're going to try this out at nighttime. So here we are now after dark, and we're using just the infrared lights on the camera, and from what I'm seeing on the live view, I can really see things pretty well, way better than I can with just the naked eye. So that is going to work really good to be able to see things at night, what's going on around your shop, around your house, just in case there's any sort of suspicious characters lurking in the darkness. We can see you! See, I told you we'd be able to see any suspicious characters. Now we'll flip on the spotlights and see what that looks like. I'm about to get blinded. Ugh. Ooh. So there is the 2 LED spotlights. I can't even see the camera right now. That is really bright. There's that suspicious character. You gotta watch those shady characters. Let's see what this looks like if I get up close. How well can you see me? Wow, you can really see me quite well. This is pretty cool. So there it is, a quick view of the night vision, which, in my opinion, it works really good. I'm seeing spots now. There we have it, guys. Our really simple security camera pod with the Reolink Argus 3 with the solar panel. So now hopefully I don't ever have to take this down just to charge the camera. The solar panel will keep it topped off. All I need to do now is figure out where exactly I'm going to mount this thing. Like I said, I'll play with a couple different options, see what works the best. The biggest thing to keep in mind is you do need to have the solar panel where it can get sun. They say to take your latitude and add about 5 degrees, and that's about the angle, but I'm gonna find a nice sunny spot that works well, and that's where this thing is gonna live. I gotta give a huge shout out to Reolink for sending me over these items to try out and help give my shop and my home a little bit more secured. If you guys wanna find some more information, there's a link down below in the description. You can check out some Reolink products for yourself. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time. I had an idea. What if you take this thing and you strap it to your chest and then you use the app on your phone like night vision and go wandering through the woods? Do you think that would work? I wonder who that suspicious character is anyways. That's funny right there.